You ever see a knife that's advertised and when you see it you think, that thing is ridiculous, I have no need for it. And you kind of dismiss it, but then you see it again and you see it again, and over time it just wears you down and eventually you give in and you buy it. I did that. Stick around. Alright, so let's take a look at this bad boy together. This particular version of the Proponent was bought on eBay for reasons I'll talk about in a little bit. As I alluded to in the intro, this thing has kind of caught my eye for a long time. But every time it caught my eye, no box, just that. That's what happens to eBay. By the way, this Spyderco Manix 2 is a sprint run with Carpenter steel CTS BD30P, which is Carpenter's version of S30V. I can't really tell the difference in terms of sharpness and everything. Total side note. Hey, Spyderco, make one of these in MagnaCut, please. Anyway, I have been eyeballing the Proponent for, at this point, friggin' a year. And every time I'd see it, I'd be like, man, that's kind of ridiculous. I don't know that I have any need for it or use for it. And then I'd kind of let it go. I'd just let it be. And then I'd see it again, same thing. Because it seems like a big knife and a heavy knife. You've probably often heard me rail about size and weight and, you know, the whole bug out and MagnaCut Deca, the Hogue, and all those things. And so, look at this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Artisan Cutlery Proponent. This particular one is an S35VN. They have much cheaper ones, but this is the very expensive one, or much more expensive. Titanium scales. I don't even know. We'll measure the blade in just a second. Let me zoom in on this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, are you seeing just how big this thing is? It is huge. I don't know if it's useful or ridiculous. I can't really tell. And that is kind of the quandary, right? In addition, because I bought this one used, I don't have the stop pin. Normally it comes with the stop pin. I wonder if I can bug Artisan and get one. Although I can't tell if this is even threaded for it or not. Oh no, it is. It's threaded. Okay. They come with usually a stop pin that goes in that hole so you can turn it into a fixed blade, if you will. But this one, no box, no stop pin, no documentation. That's what happens when you buy used. You can buy new ones of this ilk, the Proponent. Let me zoom back out. You can buy new ones for, if you don't care about the blade steel and G10 handles, $55. I'll put a link somewhere. And I waffled back and forth on, do I want the D2 version with G10 scales? Because I know you've heard me rail on and on about, oh, that's so nice. It flips very nicely. I wonder if I can use the thumb stud. Yep, thumb stud works. Thumb studs are huge. What do you think? Can I get the fuller? All right, so for me, the tab or the thumb studs, good to go. And it is a liner lock. But, oh, and this thing's so heavy too. So I love the way it looks, but it's also so heavy and so huge that it just screams kind of ridiculous to me. Just ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know. Man, am I actually gonna move this pocket clip around and carry it in my pocket? Man, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. Like, I don't know if I love it or I hate it. Let's see how heavy it is. Holy crap. So that's 11 ounces, guys. That is 11 ounces. I don't even know what to say to that. It's a beast, right? It is a frigging beast. And for that weight, let's see, let's pull out a ruler real quick. And let's just see what the measurements are. So if I put that right there and that right there. So it's not quite 9 inches long. It's 8 and some change. And the actual cutting edge, 3.5. And the total blade length is almost 4 inches in an 11 ounce knife. That is obese. It is a chunky, chunky boy. I'm going to say it again. friggin' ridiculous. But it's cool. It is so cool. And the cutting edge, this looks like the factory edge. Yeah, he's never touched the edge. Hang on, let me get a piece of paper. Hang on. All right, so for a factory edge, not bad. Now I think you know me, and I think you know I'm probably gonna put a J edge on it, a gray dog edge on it. Holy crap. Yeah, so at this point, I think I am going to order another stop pin or see if I can get one from Artisan so that I can have a complete package. This is what happens when you get used. Now look, this is my own friggin' fault because I had to be super Gucci. I could go get a brand new D2 version of this with G10 scales on Amazon right now for 55 bucks. In the box, all the documentation, all the stuff. Like I said, I'll put a link somewhere. When I saw that they had made a run of these in S35VN, I just had to have it. I was like, I want the S35. Of course, I had to do it. So we go use knife. I end up, you know, when you're buying it secondary market, eBay, you're getting what you get. And so from that perspective, and I probably should have read a little closer, but the black scales with the blue outline around the pivot, I thought, man, that just looks so nice. And of course, I'm going to have to trade the pocket clip because I'm a lefty, not a righty, one of those crazy 10% people. But if you're a lefty and you're thinking, man, I really like this knife, it is ambidextrous. You can definitely swap the pocket clip from one side to the other. I'll be doing that here in just a second. Hey, how thick do you think that blade is? So that's 191, 192, 191, 190, 191. That is darn close to 2/10 of an inch, or if you're feeling millimeters, 4.81, almost 5 millimeters thick. Guys, that's crazy. That's crazy. Man, I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to carry it. I'm just gonna have to for at least a week, and then I'll come back and I'll film me doing some stuff with it and give you final thoughts. But holy crap, guys. This is unreal. This is unreal. Stick with me for the pocket screw. Like I'm gonna actually swap this over right now. Let me get my gunsmith screwdrivers. Oh, the old Wheeler set. Perfect. This is an awesome set. I think I'm gonna have to have a screwdriver on both sides. I feel like I'm just turning the other pivot. All right, I'm gonna have to stick this in a vise, and I'm literally gonna have to do like one screwdriver on one side, the other screwdriver on the other side. Stand by while I stuff this in the vise and undo that one. Okay, so there's the screw, but the whole other side, it's not just another screw, it's actually the post. Man, at the rate I'm going, I'm wondering if I'm gonna end up taking apart the whole thing. Well, in for a penny, as they say, in for a pound. Okay, the pivot is coming out. I was afraid the other side was turning and they didn't square off the sleeve. Hopefully they did. Hopefully they did. All right, so we have liftoff. So we've got the outer kind of washer there. We've got the ball bearings, and then same thing, outer washer, ball bearings. Nice beefy stop pin there. Notice that the liner lock has an insert so that it's not rubbing on the titanium. It's actually got a hardened piece of metal for it to ride on. Now the real question here, will this backspacer come off without doing a bunch of crazy stuff? Yes. So I'm easing it off. I know this is taking a long time, but slowly and surely, there we go. Okay, so this piece right here, I think once again I'm gonna have to stick in the vise, and then I think I can get this to come out. All right, so that is a screw in a sleeve. I don't know if you can see that. Obviously, I need to reverse this and put it on this side. Have you yet decided that you don't want to do this and that maybe this is too much? I would not blame you. I'm gonna go stuff this in a vise and I'm gonna tighten this back down. So same thing, stand by. Thinking I'm gonna do this. Yes. There. Now we're in business. Let's go slightly looser. There we go. And now I just need you right there. All right, I'm back to needing to stuff this in the vise to get both sides of this. Once again, stand by. Okay, lefties, it's doable. This is not a beginner project. Yes, swapping the pocket clip from left to right, not a beginner project. Doable, but man, it is a pain in the butt. So I just want you to be aware of that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a lefty, one of those 10%ers like me, and you want an easy project to swap this from one side to the other, woo, probably no, probably nay. But if you don't mind disassembling a knife, then I would say, heck, why not? But just be aware. Yeah, look at that. Oh, man, this thing is so freaking heavy. But at the same time, man, I really love it. I love how it feels. You know, it's big, but it fills your hand. Like, it is super impressive. Man, I really, really like this. Man, the problem is it's just so heavy. It's good and ridiculous, or ridiculous and good, or weird and crazy but ridiculous. I don't even know. But seriously, man, it's just like this giant cleaver of a freaking blade. Warncliffe, for those of you who want to get hyper technical. And I get it, like it is a Warnie, but you know, the blade stock so thick here, and yet it comes down to such a nice point, or such a nice edge. Man, seriously, look at those grinds. The handle is black, so this doesn't really do it justice so much. So I don't know if you're seeing, but the blade itself is so nice. Like I said, hand filling, either hand, plenty of room. This is going to eat up a ton of pocket space. I'll get some footage of me like it in and out of the pocket at some point, but holy crap, guys. Yeah, I'm going to carry it. I'm going to carry it to work tomorrow. All right, don't hate me because I'm dumb. I'm going to do it. We'll see what happens. More later. So after a week with the Artisan Cutlery Proponent, what do I think? I think it's ridiculous. I still think it's ridiculous. It is heavy, it's huge. It takes up half your pocket, and that's if you're a dude with big dude pockets. If I was wearing female pants, I can only imagine, like, you probably just can't even get that in a pocket. I don't know, whoever's doing ladies fashions needs to get to the 21st century, but I digress. It has an excellent edge. Once I put an edge on it, guys, it was super sharp and it kept that edge. And the interesting thing, when you have a straight edge like this, it's kind of the cheat button because it's super easy to sharpen. You don't have to worry about grinds or different angles. While I don't know that I love blades like this for every task, when it comes to getting an edge on it or getting an edge back on it after use, I really like them. It's easy. Super beefy handle. The pocket clip is super strong, so it hangs onto your pocket very nicely. Now, that whole disassembly thing, woo, if you're not a lefty, it's not a problem, right? If you are a lefty, I might have some good news, bad news, good news. But in general, ladies, gentlemen, I really like this knife. The pros, it's an awesome knife. You pull it out of your pocket, you do that, it turns heads. Everyone goes, oh my God, what is that? And it works, it does work. Like I was opening boxes, doing all sorts of stuff, and it was doing that work, no problem. So from that perspective, this knife is a win. This particular knife in terms of pricing is probably a little steep for most people. I got mine used. New versions are going anywhere from $210 to $288 depending on like what features you got. I'll put links in the description. The one bad news, if you're a lefty, that whole disassembly to trade this pocket clip around from one side to the other, I'm not sure that it would be necessary on a new version of this. Everything might come out okay without having to do that. And I base that on an example of a smaller size one that I picked up, one of the cheaper ones, that a screwdriver, and I was in business. I didn't have to disassemble it, didn't have to put it in a vise, didn't have to do anything like that. That said, could you possibly run into that problem again? Yes. So for my very small, minuscule crew of lefties out there, it may or may not be a concern for you. In general, I like the knife. Artisan Cutlery and their, I guess their budget brand, CJRB underneath them, they make some nifty knives. I've reviewed another one before, if you remember the Krag. Now, I want to tell you about the real downside. I wanted to try and contact them to get one of those pins to put through so that you could turn this into your faux fixed blade, and I emailed them. And well, here's the email. And it's been almost a week now, no response. So then I thought, well, I'll just call them. I'll call them. Well, I tried multiple times, and here's the result every time I tried to call them.
Thank you for calling Russell at Artisan Cutlery. I'm sorry I'm not able to come to the phone right now, but if you could leave your name and the nature of your call, I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Sorry, mailbox is full.
So that was disheartening. Then I thought, well, you know, social media, that's a thing. Everybody's got their social media presence. I'll just Instagram message them. And I did that as well. In doing some research on various knife forums, everybody is saying that if you have to get in touch with Artisan, I think one guy tried to contact them for warranty service, and I think after weeks and multiple attempts, he finally got some grudging response. If you're looking at Artisan Cutlery and CJRB as a company that you can have a two-way kind of relationship with, I think you're out of luck. I think that you need to look at their knives as a one-shot, like you get it, and then it's your knife. If there's any real problems with that knife, they're not Artisan's problems, they're your problems. Maybe it is what it is. Some companies are not well known for their tech support or any sort of assistance. That said, there's a lot of good ones out there that are. Spyderco, Benchmade, those guys are responsive. If you talk about offshore companies, Civivi, I emailed them one time about one problem that I had with one of their knives. Within 3 hours, I got a response back. And it was, hey, you can try this. If that doesn't work, here's where you send it to. Just let us know. We'll give us your tracking number and we will make it right. Instant response. I'm not getting that with Artisan. All that said, would I buy this knife again, knowing what I know now? Yes. Yes, I would. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I love this knife. It is a big, stupid knife. Stupid, big knife. A stupid, awesome knife. I don't know. But I really, really like it. It's freaking neat. If you want something like this and you don't want to spend that aforementioned 200 plus bucks, they make a D2 version of it, and that one retails for 55 bucks. I'll put a link down there. Now, if you're saying, Jay, I really like the shape. I like how it looks, but I don't want one quite that big. I don't want one quite that big. Well, I understand that. I 100% get it. And as it just so happens, they do make a smaller version, which I'll probably do a review of at some point. It deserves its own video. It really does. It is neat in its own regard. We'll get to that another time. You have options. If you want a high dollar collector's item type knife with good stainless crucible particle metal steel, S35, which I'm a big fan of. Personally, I can't tell the difference between it and S30. I believe there is some machinability factor with the S35 that makes it preferable if you're actually making or building knives. But in terms of end user experience, it's quite stainless, holds the edge really well, takes a good edge. Either one of those are excellent steels. So I don't hate the S35. Yeah, I would totally do it again. I may end up picking up one of the D2 ones just for laughs. You know, I hate D2, but that straight edge actually makes it a little easier to sharpen. So I'll retract like 1% of my complaints about D2. But guys, if you want a stupid awesome knife or awesome stupid knife, the Artisan Cutlery Proponent, I think that might be your jam. Take care, stay safe. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Get 'em, Jay.